Hey, welcome to the English Podcast Lab. I'm Mike, and today we're going to be diving deep into something that I think we've all thought about. Can adults really make those close friends the way we did as kids? Like when you're in school and it just happens.
Exactly.
Sarah is here with me today. She's our expert on all things social.
Hi, everyone.
So,
glad to be here.
Is it even possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it might feel harder as we get older, but it is definitely possible.
Okay, that's good to hear, because I've definitely felt that struggle. It's like you said, when you're a kid, it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you need like a strategy guide.
Well, the research actually backs that up. It's statistically more difficult to make close friends as we age. One study found that the average person makes half as many friends between the ages of 25 and 50.
Wow.
Compared to their teens and early 20s.
Half as many.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just me imagining things.
Right.
So if it's statistically harder, how come some people still seem to make friends so easily? What's their secret?
Well, I think it's important to remember that, most people feel at least a little bit nervous when they're trying to meet new people.
Right.
It's not just you being awkward.
Yeah.
Most people are in the same boat.
So even those people who seem super confident, they're probably freaking out a little bit on the inside.
Exactly. They've just learned to manage that initial fear and just take action anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the key.
Okay.
Meeting new people is about two things. Increasing your opportunities to meet people, and then also making those encounters count. Increasing the likelihood that those encounters turn into actual friendships.
Okay, so two parts to the equation.
Yeah.
Let's start with increasing opportunities. I'm guessing that's where, the join a club advice comes in.
Yeah, that's a good start, but it's a little bit vague, right? I think we can get more specific.
Okay.
Because just throwing yourself into a room full of random people isn't enough. You need something in common with them.
Yeah.
So that's where taking a class or joining a group that's centered around a hobby or something like that can be really helpful.
So instead of just any class, it should be something that actually speaks to my interest.
Right.
Like if I'm a foodie, I should try a cooking class instead of, pottery or something.
Exactly. You're much more likely to meet your people that way. So if you're a bookworm, join a book club. If you love the outdoors, join a hiking group or something.
Right.
It's about shared passions.
Yeah, you're already starting with something to talk about.
Yeah, you have a built-in conversation starter.
Exactly. Takes the pressure off.
Right.
Speaking of, shared passions, volunteering came up a lot in the research. What makes that such a friendship goldmine?
I think volunteering, it's not just about shared interests, it's about shared values.
Oh.
When you work alongside someone towards a cause that you both care about, you tend to form a really strong bond.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you're at a soup kitchen, for example, you're not just making small talk about the weather.
Right.
You're actually working together to make a difference.
You're in the trenches together.
Exactly. And that shared purpose can be really powerful.
So for someone who's really passionate about, let's say, animal welfare,
yeah,
hitting up an animal shelter would be a better bet than a networking event.
Exactly. And you're much more likely to meet other people who are also passionate about animals.
Okay.
So it's a win-win.
So we've got classes, hobby groups, volunteering. Are there any other unexpected ways to bump into some potential new friends?
This one might sound counterintuitive, but even solo travel.
Solo travel
can be a really great way to meet people.
But isn't that the opposite of socializing?
Well, think about it. When you're traveling alone, you're way more open to striking up conversations with other travelers.
Oh, okay.
You're not relying on your existing social circle, so you're more likely to push yourself outside your comfort zone.
So by being forced to interact, I'm more likely to actually connect.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Plus, if you're staying at a hostel or you're doing a group tour that's geared towards your interests, hiking or history or whatever, you're automatically surrounded by people who have at least something in common with you.
Oh, yeah. It's built-in common ground.
Yeah.
But with exotic backdrops.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm starting to see the appeal.
Yeah.
This is definitely more interesting than just going to a bar and hoping for the best.
Right.
Are there any other out-of-the-box ideas for boosting those opportunities?
Well, this one's more of a long-term strategy. But one of the things that came up in the research was the social benefits of getting a dog.
Getting a dog.
Yeah.
That's the friendship tactic.
Well, think about it. Dog parks, daily walks, even just running errands with your pup. You got a built-in conversation starter everywhere you go.
Oh, I see.
Plus, who doesn't love petting a cute dog?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not running out to adopt a puppy just yet, but
right.
I see your point.
Right.
It's about creating those opportunities for interaction in those unexpected places.
Exactly. Weaving those potential friend-making moments into your everyday life.
So we've got a good list of ways to increase those encounters.
Yeah.
But how do we actually turn those hi, nice dog moments into actual friendships?
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to dive into next. So we've talked about, increasing those chances of meeting new people.
Right.
But now comes the tricky part, like turning those encounters into actual friendships.
Yeah, that's where I get stuck.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm at the dog park. I've complimented someone's adorable pug.
Uh-huh.
Now what?
Well, it's about going beyond just, being in the same space as someone and really forging a genuine connection.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of it comes down to your mindset and your approach.
Mindset. So it's not just about having like the perfect opening line or something.
Right. Everyone feels a little bit awkward at first.
Yeah.
Instead of letting that paralyze you, you just give yourself permission to be a little bit clumsy.
Okay.
It's okay if you don't say the perfect thing. Just be yourself.
So ditch the rehearsed jokes and just be genuine.
Exactly. People can sense when you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Just relax, be authentic, and the conversation will flow much more naturally.
Okay, be myself. Got it. What else?
Become a master listener.
Yeah.
Like when you're meeting someone new,
Yeah.
really focus on what they're saying. Ask follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Show genuine interest in their life.
So it's less about trying to impress them with like my own stories and more about really absorbing what they're sharing.
Exactly.
Okay.
People can tell when you're actually listening, and it makes them feel valued,
Right.
which creates a positive association with you.
Yeah, it's like that saying, people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
When you make someone feel heard and understood,
Yeah.
that's a powerful foundation for a connection.
Okay. So I'm being genuine. I'm listening like a champ.
Mm-hmm.
What about actually getting the conversation going?
Mm-hmm.
Any tips for like breaking the ice?
Well, here's a tip that might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but don't be afraid to be a little bit vulnerable.
Vulnerable. How so? I don't want to scare them off on day one by telling them all my deepest, darkest secrets.
I'm not talking about oversharing. It's about revealing little bits of yourself.
Okay.
You know what makes you tick? Share a funny anecdote, talk about a hobby you're passionate about, something that gives them a glimpse beyond the surface.
So instead of sticking to like the safe surface level chit chat, look for opportunities to inject a little realness.
Exactly. It invites the other person to do the same. And that's how you start to build trust and understanding.
Yeah, it's about making a connection, not just exchanging pleasantries.
Right.
Okay, so we're being genuine, we're listening, we're sharing a bit of ourselves.
Uh-huh.
Anything else?
This one's really simple but effective. Give compliments.
Right.
And I don't mean like cheesy pickup lines.
Yeah.
I mean like genuine appreciation for something you admire about the person.
So if I dig their taste in music or they make like a really insightful comment, I should acknowledge it.
Exactly. Everyone likes to feel appreciated.
Yeah.
And a genuine compliment can really brighten someone's day.
It's true.
Plus, it creates a positive association with you in their mind.
Yeah, like, hey, that's Sarah. She's so cool. She noticed my awesome new sneakers.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a subtle but powerful way to build rapport.
Compliments noted. Anything else on the making connections front?
Yeah. Well, one of the most important things to remember is that building friendships, it takes time.
Yeah.
It's not about instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's about nurturing those connections over time.
So even if that first coffee date doesn't feel like an instant best friend moment, I shouldn't get discouraged.
Exactly. Every interaction is a chance to practice those social skills, to step outside your comfort zone, and to learn something new about yourself and the world around you.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
It's not about the outcome, it's about the journey. And the more you practice, the more comfortable you become, and hopefully the more fulfilling those connections will be.
Right.
So you can practice.
Yep.
One of the suggestions that came up a lot was using social media to connect with people, IRL.
Yeah, and it's not about endlessly scrolling through your feed or anything.
Right.
Use it as a tool to find local events or groups or workshops that align with your interests.
So instead of passively consuming content,
Yeah.
I should be actively looking for ways to connect with people
Exactly.
who share my passions.
Right. It's about taking those online connections and turning them into real life meetups.
Okay.
And honestly, it's become so normal now.
yeah.
Like nobody thinks it's weird to meet up with someone
Yeah.
that you initially connected with online.
You're Like a modern day version of the old school community bulletin board.
Exactly. And it can be a really effective way to meet people who share your interests and values.
Yeah.
And hey, even if those first few meetups are a little awkward, each one helps you build your confidence and hone those social skills.
Okay, so social media can be a tool, not just a time suck.
Right.
We were talking about honing those social skills. I mentioned feeling stuck after the initial nice dog comment at the dog park. Are there any other tips for navigating those initial moments with a little more grace? Because that's often where I just freeze up.
Well, first of all, remember that your body language speaks volumes.
Oh, yeah.
Make eye contact, smile, good posture. Those things convey confidence and approachability.
Right.
It's not about being fake. It's about being present and engaged in that interaction.
So it's about showing the other person that I'm genuinely interested in connecting, not just making small talk.
Exactly.
Out of politeness.
And speaking of conversation, one of the best ways to break the ice is to ask open-ended questions.
Okay.
So instead of asking things that can be answered with a yes or no, invite them to elaborate and share more about themselves.
So instead of like, do you come here often? It's more like, what do you love most about this dog park?
That opens up a much richer conversation and gives you more to work with.
Right. It's turning a closed door into an open invitation.
Exactly.
I like that.
For sure.
It's about inviting them into a conversation, not just a quick Q&A.
Right.
Okay.
And once you've got that conversation flowing, look for common ground. Maybe you both love the same author, you have similar taste in music, you're passionate about the same cause.
Right.
Those shared interests are like little threads that you can weave into a tapestry of conversation.
So it's like building a bridge between two strangers.
Exactly. And sometimes those common threads are really obvious.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're a little bit hidden beneath the surface. So you have to be a little bit of a detective looking for those subtle clues.
So pay attention to those little details, those offhand comments that might reveal a shared passion.
You got it. And you'd be surprised how often those unexpected connections lead to the most fulfilling friendships.
This is all great stuff. But at the end of the day, isn't it all about just being myself?
Absolutely. Trying to be someone you're not is exhausting and frankly pointless.
Right.
People can sense when you're being genuine, and that's what truly attracts them.
So embrace my quirks, let my personality shine through, and trust that the right people will connect with the real me.
Exactly, because those quirks are what make you special and memorable.
Yeah.
And sometimes those quirks that we think are flaws are actually our greatest strengths.
Like how?
Well, let's say you're a bit shy or introverted.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You can still be warm and friendly and engaging without being the life of the party.
It's about finding my own comfortable style of interaction.
Precisely. And sometimes those quieter, more introspective people are the best listeners and the most thoughtful friends.
Yeah.
It's not about forcing yourself to be someone you're not.
Right.
It's about finding those people who appreciate you for who you are.
This is great. I feel like we've really unpacked the art of those initial interactions.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what happens if those interactions don't go so well. What if I put myself out there?
That's a great question and one we should definitely talk about more. But first...
So what happens if those interactions don't go so well?
Yeah.
What if I put myself out there and...
Right.
Crickets.
Well, I think it's important to acknowledge that those past experiences, whether they're romantic relationships or friendships, can really leave a mark on us.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's understandable to feel hesitant.
Right.
To open ourselves up again.
It's like we build these walls around our hearts.
Yeah.
To protect ourselves from getting hurt.
Exactly.
And sometimes those walls feel so high that I wonder if it's even worth trying to climb over them.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point if I'm just going to get hurt again?
It's a valid question.
Yeah.
And it's completely normal to feel that way. I mean, those walls are there to protect us.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they can also end up isolating us.
Right.
And preventing us from experiencing the joy and fulfillment that come with genuine connection.
So how do we even begin to dismantle those walls? How do we overcome those fears?
Right.
And allow ourselves to be vulnerable again?
Well, I think the first step is acknowledging those fears.
Okay.
Not judging ourselves for feeling that way. It's completely normal given, what you've been through.
So be kind to myself.
Yeah.
Recognize that those fears are natural.
Exactly.
Given my past experiences.
Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to a close friend.
Oh, I like that.
Who is struggling.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that self-compassion is so important.
Right.
Especially when we're facing these kinds of challenges.
Absolutely. And once you've acknowledged those fears, I think it's helpful to start to challenge the negative beliefs
Okay.
that might be fueling them.
Negative beliefs, like what?
Well, for example, if you've had a few friendships that have ended badly,
Uh-huh.
you might start to believe that all people are untrustworthy,
Right.
or that you're just not good at making friends.
Right.
And those beliefs, even if they're subconscious,
Yeah.
can really sabotage our efforts to connect with others.
Right. Because if I'm walking in thinking it's going to fail,
Right.
I'm probably going to act in ways that make it more likely to fail.
Exactly. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right. Right.
So identify those negative beliefs and challenge them.
Good.
Ask yourself, is this belief really true?
Mm-hmm.
Is it based on facts, or is it just a fear-based assumption?
So question those negative thoughts and try to replace them with more positive and empowering beliefs.
Exactly.
Like, I am capable of making great friends,
Yes.
even if it takes time and effort.
Love it. And sometimes it's helpful to reframe those past experiences.
Reframe them. How do you do that?
Well, instead of viewing them as failures,
Okay.
think of them as opportunities for growth and learning.
Okay.
What did those experiences teach you about yourself?
Ah.
How do they help you grow? Maybe they helped you to clarify what you don't want
Right.
in a friendship, which is valuable in itself.
It's about finding the silver lining,
Exactly.
even in those tough moments.
And remember, you are not alone in feeling this way. Like, every single person has experienced some level of social awkwardness
Right.
or fear of rejection. It's just part of being human.
That's actually kind of comforting
Yeah.
to know that even the most seemingly confident people have probably felt those same things.
Oh, absolutely. We all have those inner critics chattering away in our heads.
Yeah.
The key is learning to quiet those voices and focus on the positive.
So a big part of this is about believing that making new friends possible for me,
Yes.
even if it's felt challenging in the past.
That's a huge part of it. You know, our beliefs shape our reality.
Right.
If we believe that it's really difficult to make friends,
Yeah.
we're more likely to act in ways that confirm that belief.
Right.
But if you can shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance, from fear to possibility,
Yeah.
you open yourself up to a whole new world of connection.
I'm starting to feel that shift already.
Good.
It's like, instead of focusing on all the reasons why I can't make friends,
Right.
I'm starting to see all the reasons why I can.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
The more you focus on the positive, the more you attract positive experiences into your life.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy,
It is.
but in like a good way.
In a good way, exactly. You're creating this positive feedback loop
Yeah.
where your belief in yourself fuels your actions,
Right.
which then lead to positive results.
And those results reinforce my belief.
Exactly. It's like an upward spiral of connection and belonging.
I love that.
And that's a beautiful thing to witness, both in ourselves and in others.
This has been such a great deep dive.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned so much more than just practical tips.
Me too.
It's like a whole new way of looking at myself and the world around me.
I love that.
So thank you to Sarah, our expert on all things social.
Thank you for having me.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this exploration of adult friendship. Remember, you're not alone in this.
Yeah,
Keep believing, keep trying, and keep connecting.
that's right. Happy friend making, everyone.